What's up, TW fans? Jake here bringing you this week's episode of What's New Tackle Warehouse. So today, got some new companies that we brought in. We got some new swim baits, some new rods, a couple things for you. So first one from BiCO Performance Jig. So we brought a whole bunch of stuff in from BiCO Performance Jigs, and with the exception of a couple, most of their jigs are made out of a proprietary tin material. So what's unique about that is you can fish these jigs, they're completely lead-free, or most of them are completely lead-free, and you can fish them in those areas where they have lead restrictions. So, you know, it's super tough to find jigs, and then, you know, when you're looking at tungsten, you're getting, their jigs are usually typically more expensive, but BiCO's got some awesome options for you. So the first one here is this Baccarat football jig. Now this is originally designed for going down to Mexico and fishing Lake Baccarat, you know, legendary lake for big fish. What's cool about this football head jig is it's got this wider shape to it and then that flat bottom. So this is gonna be your offshore jig from BiCO. So if you're fishing offshore humps, deep ledges, you know, points, things like that, this is the jig you're gonna wanna go with. And when you're switching over to a tin jig versus a tungsten versus a lead or a tungsten, you're getting the opposite effect as if you would be switching to tungsten. So you're actually gonna be getting a little bit bigger of a head shape than you would with lead. So you know, compared to, you know, if you had two half-ouncers together, the BiCOs are gonna be a little bit bigger profile. And what that's gonna do is gonna actually slow down your rate of fall as well. So if you're looking for a jig that's gonna maybe be a little bit more finessey, these might be a good option to try as well. Just gonna slow down that rate of fall, gonna get a little bit more natural look. Some other cool things that's on this Baccarat football jig, it's actually the same hook that's included on a bunch of their jigs and jig heads, is this Owner deep throat jig, hook on here. So it's a super stout hook. A lot of custom jigs, you know, put hooks like this on there. You know, you're getting these right out of the pack, you know, production jig with that quality of a hook on there. So if you're looking for a football jig that's you know, a little bit unique, check that one out from BiCO. And then we got a couple others as well. So this is their original casting jig, and then feeding off that same head shape as their bug finesse jig. With the original casting jig, this is gonna be your all-around performing jig from BiCO. So you can flip it, you can swim it, you can cast it, you can fish it deep, you can fish it shallow. This is kind of your all-purpose do-it-all jig. It's got a nice triangular head shape, so it comes through cover really well. Again, has that flat bottom, so if you do wanna drag it and stop it on the bottom, it's gonna stand up nice and straight. Got that same Owner hook. And if you wanna downsize, go down to that bug finesse jig. So it's got that spider cut skirt, just a smaller profile, has the same hook, just a smaller size. I believe this one is a 2 or 3/0 on there. So just downsizing the profile. You know, finesse jig is gonna be a big, you know, big deal here coming up post spawn, fish are lethargic, and you know, there's a lot of, especially right now, there's a lot of fishing pressure. If you wanna downsize your jig, finesse jigs are the way to go as well. All right, another unique jig that they make, this one is actually a lead jig. This is their bomb punch jig. Now, as you can see, this is totally unlike pretty much any other jig out there on the market. I've never seen anything that's similarly shaped to this. So it is a lead jig. It does have it has a 0-degree flat line tie, and this hook on the back this is an 11/0 Owner hook, so monster hook. But what they did with this head shape, they've gotten the weed guard to lay almost perfectly parallel to that hook point with the style of hook they've put on there. So this jig is made to punch through matted vegetation. So there's not a lot of jigs that are made to actually punch through grass and punch through mats and get in and out effectively. And this jig is doing that. And with that 11/0 hook, you're getting a huge gap between the jig head and the point of the hook. So you're gonna get plenty of hook setting performance out of that as well. Got a nice keeper on there. So if you're looking for something different, you don't want, you know, sometimes the jig gets a lot better bite than your traditional Texas rig, that big bulkier profile. And not a lot of jigs are made to actually go through weeds and stuff, but that one, this new bomb punch jig is definitely gonna get the job done. Super cool jig from BiCO. A couple other things they got is their bottom spin, underspin. And you know, with that tin profile, this is only a 5/8 ounce. But as you can see, just a little bit bigger head than most of the other underspins on the market. If you get one made out of lead, it's gonna be much more smaller. And they've actually shaped these underspins in particular to match up perfectly with Kitech Swing Impact Fats. And we know that's probably the most popular swim bait on the market. There's tons of other ones very similar to that. And now you're gonna get an underspin that is shaped and sized perfectly to match up with those swim baits. So that's an awesome deal right there. And down here on the blade, they've actually got an integrated Owner swivel into the head there, and Owner split rings and premium blades, and it comes with a Willow blade attached, and you get an Indiana blade in the package, so you can switch out blades if you want a little bit more thump or more flash, depending on the situation. Next up from BiCO, we got their stand-up net head. So again, tin material, a little bit larger profile than you would get with lead, slow your rate of fall down. And especially with the net heads, if you have a whole box of them and you're trying to divide them and you forget what size you got, on the bottom of theirs, they have the weight stamped on the bottom of there. So, you know, if you have these tin ones next to the same weight of a lead net head, it's gonna be hard to tell, you know, what weight you're grabbing for, and they're such small differences in those Ned jigs. So, you know, it's awesome that they stamp the weight on there. Got that owner hook as well, so a little bit beefier than most of your Ned heads. So if you want something a little bit stronger, change it up a little bit. Perfect stand-up action, just awesome Ned head from BiCO. Last one, they also have a soft plastic. So this is their Battle Craw, and kind of with the same effect as their jigs, you know, with that slower fall with the bigger heads. This Craw, their Battle Craw, is going to have a little bit less, you know, less of an erratic action than most of your craws and creature baits on the market. It has nice claws on there, but they're not flanged, so they're not going to kick as aggressively. Really nice plastic. And then they also have a little crosshair on there that is actually the point where the hook is supposed to come out on all their full-size jigs. So you're going to get it lined up there perfectly every time. I believe they got 5 or 6 colors, you know, all the colors you need, black, blue, green, pumpkin, stuff like that. Cool soft plastic there from BiCO. Check out all the stuff that we got from BiCO Jigs. That's on all of it. We got a few more. I just touched on a few there. From Secret Lures. So this came out of the spring release. This is actually a really cool design. This is building off their Stupid Tube design. If you've never checked out Secret Lures Stupid Tube, that's what they're known for. And now they're introducing the Stupid Craw. So if you're not familiar with the Stupid Tube, they have their own jig head system that you rig a tube with, that it makes it completely weedless. So, you know, most tube jig heads, that hook is exposed and they're prone to snags, and you really have to fish them in clean water, else you're going to lose a lot of them. With the Stupid Tube system, their hook is angled in such a way that it comes out of the body and then back through the body, almost like a Texas rig soft plastic, but you have all that lead in the body. So this Craw is completely hollow, just like you would with a tube, you know, super soft, but it's a really durable plastic. It's not going to get torn up. And Secret Lures is actually putting the marking points on the back of the Craw itself, so you know exactly where the points have to come out and put that jig head in there just right. It's got a pretty unique style claws, so they're you know, lipped on the end, so they get a lot of kicking action. If you're a fan of the Secret Lures Stupid Tube, you're definitely going to want to check out the Craw. It's just a little bit more aggressive than a tube, and it's completely weedless. Something you can throw, you know, doesn't matter, lakes, ponds, rivers, anything like that. Just an awesome new tube, you know, totally different style presentation with this new Stupid Tube. All right, we got a new swim bait. This one I'm actually pretty stoked about. This is the new Googan Baits Contender swim bait. As you can see, it's a 3-piece jointed construction on there. I didn't know what to expect when we were getting these things in, and I'm actually relatively surprised after taking it out of the package and watching some of the underwater footage. So with the 3-piece joint on there, you're gonna get a nice swimming action. And then they've just added a bunch of details that you would not expect out of bait that's coming in at $24.99. So perfect for people that are trying to get into swim baits and you don't want to make that jump into those $50, $100 swim baits. This is a nice way to get into it, and you're not going to spend a ton of money. This is the bigger of the two. They also make a 4-inch size, so the 7-inch one comes in at $24.99. The smaller 4-inch size comes in at $19.99. On the 7-inch, it comes in at 1 3/4 ounces, so you don't need a whole dedicated swim bait rod to throw it. You can throw it on your heavy jig rod, flip and stick, whatever you got. You don't need to go out and buy a whole dedicated setup. Really nice paint jobs on them. They kind of have this matte texture to them. It's really cool. They have a soft tail. They get some great swimming action. And then down on the bottom, they have some really good hooks that are also attached by swiveling hook hangers. So not a lot of swim baits have those on the market, and usually that's a feature that you have to pay quite a bit of money to get on a swim bait. So when you get a fish hooked up, those are able to rotate, and you're going to be able to land a lot more fish. So just a cool swim bait. If you're looking for, you know, something to throw in the box, and then, you know, if you're looking to get into swim baits and don't want to spend a ton of money, check that one out from Googan Baits. All right, we got a whole bunch of spinner baits. So we just got a whole new series of spinner baits from Lil Hustler. So we got all the different blade configurations you need. So there's a double Colorado, single Colorado, then everyone's favorite, the double Willow. Just a great all-around spinner bait. They got a bunch of awesome colors. They're built on a medium wire frame, so they do got a lot of flex in them, but they're really strong as well. You know, premium blades, ball bearing swivels, so you're gonna get tons of spin and flash on there. They're not gonna seize up. You're not, you know, you can really sing super slow and they're always gonna spin. They have a really cool head shape on them. From the side profile, from the side angle, you're gonna get just a natural, you know, bait fish profile. But then on the bottom, they have this kind of, this rounded shape on there, this rounded scoop shape. So they're gonna keel really good, but they're gonna roll over cover really, really well with that nice flat shape on the bottom. Premium silicone skirts, and they're also outfitted with a kind of a pretty stout, super sharp mustad ultra point hook. So, you know, set the hook, no problem, pull fish out of cover. You can fish these things in and out of cover, and you're gonna have plenty of power to get the fish out. Like I said, you know, they got all the different blade configurations, all the colors you would need, you know, a bunch of different sizes, a bunch of cool spinner baits from Lil Hustler. Last up, we got a new rod series from Halo. So this is the Halo HFX series. So we got them in casting and spinning. We got everything from down to 610 medium to 711 extra heavy punching rods. So, you know, any rod you need in that series, they got you covered in their lineup. The rod blank itself, this is a super high quality Japanese Toray graphite blank. So you're getting really high quality blank, extremely sensitive, really light, really well balanced. We got stainless steel guide frames with zirconia inserts, and these guides are put on here with Halo's Align guide system. So every guide is perfectly straight. You're not gonna have any issues with, you know, looking down the rod and noticing that you got maybe a guide out of place. Not with that Align guide system. They're gonna be perfectly in line, perfectly straight. Down on the reel seat, we have Halo's 4-finger reel seat, so you get a lot of blank exposure on the bottom. So you're gonna be able to feel those, you know, you're gonna have more contact with the blank to be able to feel those like light bites and feeling the type of rocks, gravel, grass, mud, you know, stuff that you're dragging your baits over. You're gonna feel a lot of the vibrations through there, and to increase that vibration as well, they have their EVA handle with the composite cork Sensi Touch ring. So that just helps increase that vibration transmission into your hand as well. So be able to, you know, feel every little thing, you know, and increase the overall sensitivity of the rod. And this rod only comes in at 150 bucks. So, I mean, you're getting a, you know, a phenomenal rod, bunch of really good components, great features for 150 bucks, hard to beat. So check out all the new HFX series from Halo there. All right, that's all we got for you today. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of What's New TW. For more information to purchase the products seen here today, make sure to click shop or the link in the description below. If you enjoyed this week's video, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and let us know in the comments which one of these products you're most excited about.